Hi everybody and welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Diesel RTA. This is a project by Timesvape and Ambitionz Vaper, another vape reviewer on YouTube. And this is a dual or a single coil RTA. If you're going to use single though, you definitely want to use a really big coil. It does have top airflow. Got with the bubble tank, it actually holds 5 mils of e-liquid. With the straight glass or the straight tank that it comes with, it actually holds 2 mils. The reason why I don't say tank is because this is not glass. This is like a plastic or a PCV or something type of tank. So yeah, if you're worried about breaking it, you probably won't with this, but I don't know how well this will hold up. But let's go ahead and go down. We're gonna take a close look at it. We're gonna put a build in it. We're gonna wick it up, and then we're gonna come back up and we're gonna talk a little bit about the Diesel RTA by Timesvape and Ambitionz Vaper. Okay, so here we are with the Diesel RTA. This is a collaboration between Timesvape and a project of Ambitionz Vaper. Now, for some reason, DHL has been bringing me stuff like this, so I do apologize for the packaging, but this is how I received it. On the back, you're actually going to get some specifications as well as kit contents, your scratch-off authenticity, and then you go inside, which is really easy with that top, and you're going to get a user manual. You're going to get the RTA. You're also going to be getting a spare glass. This is actually a bubble glass, which I do like bubble glass, so I'm going to actually be using this. And then you're going to get an extras packet. Your Barbie screwdriver, if I can get this out. Your Barbie screwdriver, some extra O-rings, some grub screws, as well as some plugs, and that's about it. That's all you get in this box. So we'll go ahead and put that aside. Then you're going to get your user manual. The user manual does have some specifications on it. It tells you how to take it apart, and it gives you little pieces of information regarding, where the airflow is coming from and things like that. And then you've got the RTA. Now this is a 25 millimeter RTA. It does taper down to 25 millimeters. If you notice, it's actually got a shape like this. So it does bulge out to about 28 millimeters, and it does taper down to 25 millimeters. And it does have top airflow. You also get an A10 drip tip automatically included. There is no spare. This is the only one that it comes with. It does have the O-ring on the inside. On the top, it does say Diesel. And then it's got, again, your top airflow is right there. To actually fill it, it is top fill, so you would actually take this part off. Let's go ahead and unscrew this. Okay, and when you unscrew this, it comes out sort of like a plug. This actually goes to the inside there. This is where you would fill it on the sides, never down the middle, but this is what the top looks like, and that's where your airflow is coming in. If you notice, it's got the side airflows here and then there, and then you can screw it back on. It's got really nice threading, but I have to hold it together so it doesn't fully come apart. Okay, and if you notice, it's spinning in there still when I'm screwing it in. Okay, and then on the bottom, it is 25 millimeters. It says Diesel Timesvape right here. It does have a protruding 510 pin. On the bottom, this part here, I want to tell you, I really like it. I love the knurling and the looks of it right here. I think that that's really nice. And then all you do is you just go ahead and unscrew the base, and that's how you're going to get to your deck. And then inside, when you undo the base, right away, this piece is going to fall off. So I do want to let you know about that so that you know about it. This is domed, especially when this is there. It is semi-domed right there. That's where actually this piece is going to connect to. The airflow is going to come out on the side of these panels, then come inside here, and then hit the honeycomb airflow on the sides. Now, with this piece in there, it actually locks onto the deck like this. So you do need to make sure that that's lined up once this is in there. So for me, in order to put it together, I just put it in there like this and then leave it there. And then when I go to put in my deck, I do it upside down, because if I do it right side up, this piece comes off. So I don't want that to happen. So I do have to put it in like this. So you do have to line up your airflows, your honeycomb airflow to those in order to close it. Now, to take off the bubble glass, what you're going to do is just go ahead and take this off. Or it's not really glass. This is like I think a PVC or some sort of a plastic that they've used. This is what it looks like here. It says Diesel right there, and then you've got an O-ring right there. And then to put on the bubble, and then just insert it right there, and this will actually make it 5 mil capacity. Just be careful with that. For some reason, it doesn't like to hook onto there. There we go. Okay, so we got that, and that's what it looks like with the bubble the bubble tank on it. Now with the bubble tank on it, it's a lot harder to see the diesel wording than it is for this one, because this one's a lot closer to the chamber where you can see it more. Now you're really not going to be able to see the diesel wording. And then onto the deck. Now the deck, it only comes with gold-plated deck. I'm not a fan of gold-plated decks. That's just my personal preference. I just feel like it looks, because it's gold-plated, it looks kind of fake. So I don't like gold-plated decks, but it does come with the gold-plated deck. You've got your wicking channels on both sides. So your wicks are actually going to go right here and right there. And then you can actually make this a dual or a single coil. You've got the honeycomb airflow on each side of the coil, or if it's a single coil in the middle, make it a really big one. You want to make sure it's like a 4.5 or bigger coil in the middle for it to do it any justice, because there's going to be so much room in there. Here's where your juice is going to come in to actually saturate your wicks to get to your coil. And then you've got flathead screws in there, and then an extra set of grub screws. So let's go ahead and start building on this. Now with the gold-plated deck, another reason why I'm not a fan of it is because when the tank is all put together, you can actually still see the gold-plated deck. It doesn't really blend with it, but that's the way they come. All the colors do. I think it's only in the stainless steel and the black right now, if I'm not mistaken. So the one thing is that these screws are really nice. They come out really nice. So just unscrew that one, unscrew this one, and you can see it right there. And then do the same thing on this side. Now I'm actually going to be putting in a dual coil build. I'm not going to be putting in a single coil, so I do want all of them open. Make sure you get that in there. There we go. Okay, there you go. And then this one. I mean, they're really in there, really deep set, so you can't really lose them. So for today's build, I'm actually going to be using my fused Claptons. These are from Coil Clout. You can actually go to coilclout.com and use the code Wendy. You get 10% off. So those are my fused Claptons. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pre-cut my leads. I've got my coily tool right here. This one doesn't come with any type of a coily tool. It doesn't tell you the measurements for a coily tool or anything like that. So I've actually tried a couple builds in here. So I'm going to actually use the 7mm. I think it was 7. The 7mm should be just fine. Go ahead and cut that. And then cut this. Now, being that it's a postless deck the way that it is, it's kind of hard to use the coily tool as a measuring tool because it's got the airflows in the way. So you have to literally just try it out and see what works best for you. So I'm going to put this one here. And then go ahead and cut that one. And cut this one. Oops, there we go. Cut it in my hand. How awesome is that? And I'm going to get my favorite screwdriver so we can go ahead and place these in. So again, you are going to have one on one side and one on the other. This is where the peak insulator is. So this is your positive side, and then your negative side is right there. So let's go ahead and install the coils. Now we're going to put one here, one there. Just drop it in like that. Hold it down, screw those in. Let's screw this one in. Okay, that side's in. So 7mm for me works just fine. It sits perfectly straight for me, right next to the airflows. Okay, and then do this one. Okay, so those are in there nicely. Now I can go ahead and line up my coils, and I'm just going to bring this in a little bit more, make sure that they're nice and straight, and bring this one in a little bit. You want to make sure that it's not touching any of the sides. And then take a look at that. And that's about how I want them. That's what's been working for me. So let's go ahead and start dry firing these and then getting them to heat up evenly, and then we'll wick it up and start heating it up. Okay. There we go, starting to glow nicely. What I do like to do is kind of separate my coil a little bit. Sometimes it helps it heat up just a little bit faster. There we go. You want to get all the hot spots out. That's on any build that you're doing. You're going to do it the same way. lightly strum. It sounds really loud, but I'm really not. Squeeze that together, get out that hot spot there. There we go. Ooh, big hot spot there. Pull this out just a little bit more. Getting nice and blue, my favorite coils. These are literally like my favorite coils. That's why I'm like out. These are my go-to coils right here. My fused Claptons. Okay, almost done. Okay, so they're heating evenly from the inside out. So let's go ahead and get some cotton, let these cool down, and we'll start wicking her up. And for today's cotton, I'm actually going to be using my Firebolt cotton. So I have a strip here. This is going to be enough for both coils. So I've gone ahead and taken that out. What we're going to do is just go ahead and put that in there like this. Make sure I'm in view. And then pull it all the way through. I want it right about there. My handy dandy scissors. I'm going to cut it right at the deck. And then go ahead and put it, the rest of it through over here. Another reason why I love this cotton. I can literally do a full dual coil build with this in one strip. So it makes it last a lot longer. Let me go ahead and cut this off, and then I'm going to just thin them out a little bit. Okay. And thin this out. Go ahead and cut it again. Grab some deck. And cut this one. There we go. Just put that right in there in the wicking channel, just like that. Okay, you don't want it too tight though. If it's too tight, you're gonna get a dry hit. So you want it to where it's at least loose. I can literally put my tweezers right in there, so no problem at all. Do the same thing for this side. This one is a little bit thicker. I'm just gonna thin this out just a little bit more. There we go. And trim it. Go ahead and put that in there. Go, one in there and one in there. So push those down, and again I can fit my tweezers perfectly fine in there. There's a lot of room in there so that it'll get nice and saturated. So I'm gonna pop that up a little bit, puff this up just a little bit like that. There we go. That way it's peeking through, and then that's it. So let's go ahead and get some e-liquid and get this party started. For the e-liquid today, I'm actually going to be using my chilled milk vanilla. Oh my god, this stuff is so good. It tastes just like a cold glass of milk. Absolutely great. So I'm just going to put some on the coils because I want to make sure that the cotton within the coils is getting nice and saturated. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. It usually helps. There we go. And being that this is top airflow, it's not going to leak. So, or it's pretty much leak resistant. And if you notice, it saturated the sides by me just doing the top. And that's the way I like it. I know now that my coils are nice and saturated on the inside. I got a wispy here, sorry. There we go. And then again, I'm actually gonna do this way because I wanna make sure that this plate doesn't come out, because it does come out loosely, and you just wanna line up your deck to the inside and then screw it down. There we go. Sorry, I'm right-handed. There we go. So I've got that on nice and tight. Again, you can't really see the diesel word right now. So let's go ahead and take off the top. See, that's the thing. When I'm taking off this top, if you didn't notice, when I'm taking off this top fill, it's literally loosening up everything else. Look, my tank is getting loose. That's why I gotta. Okay, so let me try to hold it like this. It's literally taking the whole thing apart. Okay, tighten that one. There we go. Try to get that off. Okay, and then we've got that off. Make sure this is nice and tight. And then let's go ahead and fill it. Again, with the bubble glass, it does hold 5 mils of e-liquid. Okay, got that on there. And then we'll go ahead and put this in. Don't over tighten it, because getting it off, you're gonna take the whole thing off. So make sure it's not too tight. And then open up your airflow. And yeah, so let's go ahead and go on top. That is the Diesel RTA by Timesvape and a project of Ambitionz Vaper. Okay, so here we are back on top with the Diesel RTA from Timesvape and Ambitionz Vaper. Let's go ahead and have a vape, and then we've got some things to talk about. Okay, now, so I'm going to go over my pros and then we'll go over the cons. The first pro is going to be the flavor. I am getting really, really good flavor, but I love honeycomb airflow. So that to me, it just makes it a little bit smoother. So I like that. Top airflow, so it doesn't leak. That's another pro in my book. Very, very easy to build and wick. As you saw down below, it takes dual coils or single coils. I don't prefer to do a single coil in this. I did try it out, but I didn't like it as much as I do in dual coil mode. But that's my personal preference. It can be done because it's made that way. It does come with the bubble tank, which I do like bubble tanks because it does give a lot more e-liquid capacity. So I think that's great. I absolutely love the design and the knurling that is on the bottom. That to me is probably one of my favorite parts of this RTA is actually that knurling on the bottom. I really like the looks of it. Now it does look really, really nice and sharp. It looks really, really nice with the stainless steel and the clear frosted bubble tank. But then it leads me into my cons. Okay, so on my cons, it's going to be the fact that with this plastic bubble tank, you can't really see the word inside. Because it is frosted, you're not going to be able to see that inside. Now that to me isn't necessarily a con, but for somebody out there, it might be. So I did want to go ahead and mention that. Another thing is the gold-plated deck. I'm not a fan of that with the stainless steel. I can see if it was an all gold RTA, then having that gold-plated deck would actually make a lot more sense in my opinion. Top airflow is nice, but the top fill I think has some issues because I didn't have it tightened down too tight. And whenever I go to open it, I'm always scared of it coming loose on the bottom. It's happened to me numerous times. I've lost tons of e-liquid while I was actually testing this out, and it just, there's nothing I can do about it. It's loose, but it'll still give me that problem. That's why I always hold it when I'm trying to open it and making sure that the tank doesn't come apart. Another con for me is the drip tip. I feel like it's too low of a profile drip tip in my opinion, and it doesn't come with an extra one. There's no 510 drip tip adapter, and it doesn't come with an extra drip tip. I personally, I mean, I can vape on it. It's not a problem. But I feel like I'm barely getting my lips around it because it is so short, which a lot of people might like shorter drip tips, but I actually like it a little bit taller because my lips feel like they're wrapping around the top here. It does hold 5 mils of e-liquid, which for me is definitely a pro rather than the straight glass. The straight glass only holds 2 mils. I don't work well with small juice capacity, so definitely the 5 mil is more my cup of tea. In the manual, I did want to mention this. In the user guide, it says that they recommend not going below a 0.2 ohm build, which for me is usually pretty hard to do because even with my fused Claptons, I'm usually between a 0.16 to a 0.18. And in the book, it's telling you, which I've never really seen that in an RTA where it tells you to not go below a certain amount, that they don't recommend going below a certain amount. So I definitely want to mention that, but I mean, it's vaping fine. And right now it's actually coming out to a 0.16 and it vapes absolutely fine. I'm not getting any problem with that. I like the looks of it. I really do. But the thing is that when you do have to tighten it down, it then makes it difficult for you to take it off of your mouth. Because of the fact that I had to keep tightening down the glass when I'm trying to open it to fill it. And that's happened to me a couple times. I was able to get it unscrewed, but that because of the fact that this, I don't know what the problem, I think that there's just not enough lip room between the top fill and that ring that holds the glass in or the tank in. So being that there's not enough room, I just feel like it just doesn't do it justice for me. Other than that, the flavor on it is really, really good. I can't lie to you. I mean, it's really, really good. I do like top airflow RTAs because of the fact that I don't have to worry about it leaking. So that took away all that problem right there. Now, even with the top airflow RTA, I want to let you know, you have to make sure that your wicks are kind of tight in your coils. If your wicks are too loose within the coil, you will get some gurgling and some spit back. You have to make sure that they're really, really tight within your coils. I've noticed that not just with this RTA, but with others, you do want to have it really, really snug inside. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the Diesel RTA. Again, by Timesvape. Thank you so much for sending it my way, Timesvape. I really appreciate it. It doesn't, change my opinion about it. I'm going to give you the straight facts of how I feel about it. I absolutely love the looks. If I wasn't seeing that gold in there, I would love the looks of the stainless steel. It would match perfectly. But I do like the looks of it. The top does remind me of a couple other top fill RTAs, but that's besides the point. So yeah, so that's my review, and I will see you in the next one.